Returning to Manchester. That's a short video by me, Steve Higgins. So why return to Manchester, you might be thinking? Well, the thing is, for me, I've not been to Manchester since before the pandemic. 2019 was the last time I visited the city centre. So here I am in Wythenshawe. This is Wythenshawe bus station, and I'm going to get the tram into the city centre and have a little bit of a nosy about. I've been quite impressed by some of the things I've seen on Instagram and Facebook about these new buildings in the city centre, and I do love Manchester city centre. Our first job in Manchester years ago was working in an office there, so I'm anxious to see what it's like. Bought my ticket, bought an all-day ticket, which I think was £4.90, and here's the thing with the trams in Manchester, there's no conductors. You have to buy your ticket before you get on board the tram. Here we are leaving Wythenshawe bus station. Obviously it's a bus and tram station, and we're moving out from the Manchester Civic Centre towards Brownlee Road, one of the main roads in Wythenshawe. Then we're going to travel on into the city centre. This is they're on about at Crossacres, and that is a new college that's been built. But many years ago it used to look like this. This was the Ben Shill pub. My granddad used to work in the vault there, so I'm told, many years ago. Obviously that pub no longer with us. Anyway, here we are going down into the city centre, and already we can see some quite impressive buildings. I think we're just coming here into Deansgate station. And this is the crazy thing about coming into town on the tram from South Manchester. You're sort of like doing a loop round, so instead of coming to Piccadilly first, you're coming into the Deansgate end. Up there is the fabulous Beetham Tower, Manchester's original super skyscraper. And here we are exiting the tram in Deansgate station. There's that Beetham Tower again, 47 stories, completed in 2006, a cost apparently of £150 million. There is a cocktail bar, I think, somewhere up near the top, which would be quite nice to visit. Sadly I didn't have time today. There you saw a quick glance of Manchester's new skyline with some impressive buildings. That's another tram going back the other way. We're still at the end of the pandemic, so I had my mask on travelling on the tram. Yeah, I've not been into Manchester since before the pandemic, which was 2019, and it's now September 2021, and a hell of a lot has changed in the city centre. Where have these huge tower blocks come from? Amazing. Now this area is known as Deansgate Square. I've got some interesting things on this this wall there. AD 79 was when a Roman fort was established, and AD 407 was where it Roman occupation finished. 1509 the River Medlock was dammed. 1642 the English Civil War. 1765 the Bridgewater Canal opened, and an iron foundry established in the 1790s. 1933 the Knott Mill ironworks were replaced by the Olympia Garage, whenever that was. 2021 Deansgate Square was produced. I don't know what it is about these skyscrapers, but I do have a fascination for them. They make the skyline in Manchester look a little bit like New York. Amazing. Yeah, so still a great deal of building work going on. If you're interested, that is the phone number to call for Deansgate Square. This is what I'm assuming it's going to look like when the whole thing is finished. And at the moment it's a building site, but it's not a blot on the landscape. It does look rather nice. I'm not sure what kind of businesses are going to be housed there, or even if they're going to be apartments. Yeah, I just started to wonder whether I've got off the tram at the wrong stop and carry on to I don't know. New York, London. I mean, it looks impressive. I just wonder, I mean, those two big buildings that I've seen, there didn't seem to be anybody in them all, except at the bottom level. I'm sure someone will find use for them though. So here we are back again at Deansgate station, and that's the Beetham Tower. This was a sad thing to see, the Deansgate pub all closed down and boarded up. I remember going for a pint there just before the pandemic in 2019, and inside it was full of beautiful polished bars. Yeah, it was a lovely place, a little bit pricey for me because you know what a tight one I am, but it's sad to see any pub, to be honest with you, closing down. But the pandemic has been a difficult time, of course, for the licensed trade, for bars and restaurants. Hopefully that pub will reopen. I certainly hope that it does. Here we are at the Rochdale Canal. It was completed in 1804 and restored in 2002. Come away from the streets and the wind to have a little talk down here. This is we've seen the new, and now this is the old. Canal looks a little bit grimy though, could do with a little bit of a clean up. I don't suppose it gets used that much except in the summer with people on tourist boats. In the tunnel, but it's actually noisier. It's the noise of the traffic and the noise from the lock towards the end where the water's spilling over. Just up there is Deansgate. It's a very busy road indeed, and this is probably the best way to get across. So we are coming up to the lock gates, and there's a little bit of the new stuff behind me for the high-rise block. Manchester is, of course, a modern town, especially recently with all these new modern office blocks. But it does have this industrial past, this industrial heritage. And it's great to see that the canal, which goes right through the centre of Manchester, is not defunct. It's still there, it's still used, or even if it's only holidaymakers on hire boats. This is me trying to help these two close the lock gates for the next level, and believe me, it is much harder than it looks. I was actually trying to do it with one hand, film with the other, but I ended up having to put the camera down. This is a lock filling up so they can go up to the next level. Taking a canal boat through Manchester city centre is something I'd love to do. I've always fancied hiring a canal boat. They are kind of pricey though when I've looked at doing it. What was interesting about the couple on this canal boat, they weren't from Cheshire, even though the boat was hired in Middlewich, I think it was. They were from the USA, they were from Washington, and I actually felt kind of jealous of them. I'd love to have hired a canal boat and go through Manchester, maybe one day. This is something I've not quite seen before. It's a bunch of locks with people's lovers' names on, which they'd attach to the railings over the canal. Now, if you've not recognised this area, it's Oxford Road in Manchester, and this building once used to be the Refuge Assurance Building. And back in the 1970s, this was my first job leaving school, and this is the way I used to come into work, that very entrance. Yes, the commissioner used to check your credentials, check your pass, and then it'd be, for me, up to the 3rd floor and the estates department. It is an absolutely beautiful building, lovely polished wood, tiled walls. Look at these beautiful steps there. It's fabulous to be able to come back and look at this place. Well, this is inside the Refuge Assurance Building, or what used to be a Refuge Assurance Building. It's actually my very first job leaving school, so it's really weird to be here. This was the staircase that I used to go down every day. When I first started, my office was on the 3rd floor. And I used to look out my window, which was over to the right. And I'd see that dome. About 5 minutes down the road from the Refuge building, which incidentally is now a hotel, is St Peter's Square, and that's the central library just opposite. Many years ago, on sunny weekday lunchtimes, I used to sit in the square and eat my sandwiches. But today is not the day for sitting in the square. It's very rainy. I think it's time to get off back home. Just so happens that there's a tram there. I've already spotted the place that I want, but this chap goes straight for it.
We are now approaching Deansgate Castlefield, where you can change for National Rail and free buses around the city centre. If you are travelling contactless or with a smart card, remember to touch out at your destination.
I actually quite like travelling by the tram, the frequent announcements over the tannoy. There's also visual reminders of your stop. And it's nice to look over and see the old town as well as the new one.
This is a service to Manchester Airport. The next stop will be Wythenshawe Park.
Here we are now in Charlton, and that big pub over there is the Southern. That's one of my old haunts back in the late 70s. It was a Boddington's pub. Closed down in 2011 after 90 years serving beer to customers. Apparently now it's a curry house. This is on Brownlee Road coming back to Wythenshawe, and that little green on the right hand side, that used to be a row of houses which were knocked down to make way for the tram. And those flats there on the right hand side, they were built after knocking down the Brownlee Green School, same school that my mum and dad went to many years ago. Sad to see these old buildings disappear, but well, that's progress, I suppose. The old buildings make way for the new ones. Here we are going round the bend, going towards Wythenshawe Civic Centre and Wythenshawe Bus Station. Over on the left, that is the old fire station. I'm actually not sure whether it's still a fire station, to be honest with you. Over on the right hand side, you can see a little block of flats there. When I was a school kid, there used to be a row of shops there. We used to call them the wooden shops, because they were a set of shops in wooden huts, as I remember. One of them was a little model shop selling dinky and corgi models, which was one of my favourite shops. Alas, no longer there. Here we are now, just coming up to the bus and tram station, and that's the end of our day in Manchester city centre. Thanks for watching. My name's Steve Higgins, and you can find out more about me at stevehigginslive.com. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel and find more videos like this one. And so, goodbye to the tram, and I'll see you next time at stevehigginslive.com.